Hey there and welcome back to the channel. Today's video I'm going to take you on a tour of the newly updated Luminar Neo. I have been using Luminar for quite a while. I also love their other portrait program, which is Adobe, and you'll see quite a few of my portraits that have been edited in Adobe, but they have gone into Neo and updated a lot of the portrait features, and let me tell you, they are really cool. So if you don't want to just go and get a portrait program like Adobe, which is really just portraits for weddings, events, things like that, and it's a fabulous program, but if you want something that's a little more inclusive, then the newly updated Luminar Neo, which goes across lots of genres, whether it's portraits, still life, landscape, etc. Neo does everything. So let's jump in and have a little look. Okay, so here's an image here that I have loaded up. Of course, if you go into, you've got all your different catalogs and things like that you can load up. You can use Luminar as a standalone. It's also a plugin for Lightroom and Photoshop. So if you're doing something in Photoshop and then you want to really sort of beef up your image into Luminar, you can do that. Now, most of this is fairly sort of standard. There is just some things that are more for landscapes, I guess you could say. Then there are your creative tools, which are amazing. I love the creative tools. But if you come down here, you have your portrait tools. So I'm just gonna go into that and scroll up, and I want to show you just a couple of things that you can do, and they've really made some major changes. So if I zoom in, so this is the gorgeous holly, and look, sometimes your skin doesn't work the way you want it to and you have breakouts and things like this. Luminar Neo has you covered. This blemish removal tool, I'm going to click on that. Look at it. Done. Instant. Perfection. Then I can come in and I can do face smoothing. I can do body smoothing. There's a little bit of shine on her face, and this is one tool from Adobe that I love. So they've brought the shine removal in, which is amazing, and the blemish removal. It is just stunning. Absolutely stunning. If I go into face, now I can relight that face a little bit, bring it lighter. I don't want to slim it. Some people will use it, but I don't love it. I can change the eye color. Now she has blue eyes, so I can make them pop. Maybe not quite so much, so I'll bring that back a little bit. Then you've got iris flare. That is just stunning. Again, I don't want to enlarge eyes, but I want to maybe just brighten them up a little bit. Red eye removal. She doesn't have that, but it's there if you want it. Dark circle remove has been enhanced. Look at that. Bang. Perfect. Absolutely gorgeous. Go into the mouth. They've got teeth whitening. You can't see any teeth here. Lips darkening. So maybe I want to darken those lips up a little bit. Plump up the redness a little bit, saturation, things like that. If I go into body type, now let's just zoom out a little bit, I can play around with the shape and make her tummy smaller and things like that, but she's absolutely gorgeous just the way she is, so I'm going to leave that. You've also got something else that has been improved, which is the bokeh. So that's that blur that your lens will give you. And if we click on that, so what we used to do in the past, now I can just go over the top. Now what this has done, if I zoom in, so yes, it has blurred the background, but her earrings are blurred and I've lost all the detail in her hair and the edge of the dress and things like that. But what I can do, and I'm just going to zoom out a little bit, grabbing this arrow here I can decide where the blur sits. And now, if I zoom in again, the earrings and even the detail in her hair and the edge of her dress are all in focus, but the background's in blur. Now, it's probably too much blur, so if I want to bring that back a little bit, I can. But you have control over where that bokeh is in the background. You can also change the feel of it. Make little love hearts, stars, hexagon, things like that. So you can really change everything about the image. Now, if you want to come in and edit anything, just click on edits and you can go in. So all I did was the face and the skin. I might just bring that face smoothing back a little bit. I still want a bit of texture there. I don't want it to look too plastic. Now, going back into the tools, you've got studio light as well. So if I zoom back out, that studio light, if I click on it here, I can bring it up to here and I can change the amount of light, the brightness, the contrast, the smoothness of the light. You can also change light customization. So if you want to have, you can add texture. So if you had a tree shadow, say a lace pattern, something like that, you can also have pattern as well. You can scale it up, you can scale it down, you can smooth it out. So it is absolutely fabulous for adding studio light to your images as well. If we jump out of here and we go into enhance, we can enhance our image using AI. There's also the masking tools. So if you want to go and take it off, so you can now, there is more masking tools that have been added, so you can fill or copy, clear, invert. You can feather your masking, so if you wanted to paint something in, you could then mask it off, and you can add feathering and shift the edge. So if I just quickly with the button, really doing it very roughly. So if I want to shift the edge and things like that, I can do that. So I can shift the edge over. I'll show the mask first. So I've shifted it over, or I can shift it back. I can feather the edge so that it's much softer. So you can really work with masks and get it looking just as you want it. Something else which is really cool is the black and white. So you can convert to black and white. And of course you can play within the luminance. So you can brighten up like her lips, the flowers, skin tone. You can play with that, or also affecting the background. You've got the leaves, so you've got greens there. You can lighten or darken them. There's no real cyans, blues or magentas in this image. But what you can do is you can now jump over to saturation. So if you wanted to have this as just reds in the image, you can do that. If you wanted to have it a desaturated image, you can bring all your other colors up as well. So it's almost black and white, but not quite. And then of course you can bounce back and you can drop down the saturations on the reds. So there's a lot more scope for working your images in Luminar. Of course, you can still, if you want to, you can go into the creative panel. So you've got light depth, so you can play with all of that. And you can see where the light is hitting. And of course, you can change that in here by using this new mapping. You can make it soft, you can make it a little bit warmer, etc. Color transfer, magic light. So if you've got something in here, like I've got all the sparkles on the dress, I'm just going to boost the intensity. So the brush size, so I could come in here and do little sparkles on the dress. Absolutely cool. Dramatic, love this, just adds this drama and mood to your images. I'm just going to go back in and get rid of the black and white. So if you ever want to edit your images, you can just go into the edit panel and edit from there. You've got, like I said, you've got dramatic, which adds that drama and moodiness to your images, local contrast, things like that. Absolutely fabulous. Mood, oh, this is your lookup tables. I love using these. So there's custom ones that you can download, or you've got various ones in here. So Anaheim, Bakersfield, Long Beach, love using these. There's also some portrait toning, so you can go in and use those. You can change the amount or the intensity of the lookup table as well, and you can change the contrast, you can change the saturation, you can do all of that. There's also Neon Glow Mystical, which is another one which is really cool. That's always fun to work with. So there's a lot of things that you can do in here. If you wanted to add film grain, you can do that as well. You can add a little bit of film grain to give it that vintage look. So that's pretty much everything in Luminar Neo. I've just reset that image, and I just wanted to go through and just show you again. If you go into that blemish removal and the shine removal and the face smoothing, it's just amazing. Go into the face, you can relight the face, you can enhance the eyes, pop in that iris flare, red eye removal, the dark circle removal. They're all absolutely amazing. So do go check it out. So that's the amazing Luminar Neo. Now, if you jump onto their website, there is a huge sale on. This is their spring sale, even though it's autumn down under, but that's all right. So for new devices, or for new setups, there's perpetual desktop licensing. So that's like $169. That's in Australian dollars. I think it's like 99 US or something like that. It's a one-time payment. So that's like $13 a month. So it is really, really cost effective. Now that's just a desktop. You can get a cross-device perpetual license that gives you access to Luminar Neo on your desktop. There's a mobile app for Android and Mac, as well as Chrome OS, if you've got that. That is fabulous. If you really want to go all in, if you've got the funds to do it, the Max license, that gives you Luminar on your desktop, mobile, and also the creative library. And they have a huge creative library as well. So don't forget to go and check that out. I'll put a link down below and you can go and have a look for yourself. So there's great support. It's a fabulous program, works on Mac, works on Windows. It's available as a Photoshop plugin and a Lightroom plugin. It's also got an extension for Mac Photos too, if you are into that. So go check it out. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed this little tour behind the scenes of the newly updated Luminar Neo. It really is a fabulous program, and I'm finding I'm using the Luminar programs, whether that's Luminar Neo or whether it is Adobe, And now that Neo's been updated with even better portrait tools, I'm probably going to be using those as well, because I love using Neo for the creative stuff. Yes, there are lookup tables and a couple of things in Adobe, but there is so much more in Neo. So that's it for today's video. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up, like and subscribe, and I will see you next time on YouTube. And I'll put the link below if you're interested in getting your own copy of Luminar Neo. Bye.